In 1906, just on that quarter across the way, my grandparents came to take up a homestead claim. They broke the prairie wool with one ox and a plow, and the fourth generation's here right now. We want to stay on this land where my grandparents planned to build a life together, working hand in hand. We want to stay on this land, and by working hand in hand, gonna build our tomorrow today.
The land has been accumulating in the hands of fewer and fewer individuals, and will probably continue to do so. You read history of other countries, and this has always happened. This is what brought on the revolution, eh? The peasants lost the land. We are the peasant class in Canada right now.
So our neighbors have been leaving, and their homes been shutting down, and we thought we best do something quick to keep us clear of town. So our 7 families decided that to cut back on our costs, we should form our own production co-op.
Dissatisfied, maybe a slightly radical person would go into a co-op. A person looking for an answer and willing to get out and try and find it instead of sitting on his horse and bitching.
Our agri-pool ain't been here long, but it sure has eased my mind to know that if I'm not too well, the work will go on fine. And we pool all our equipment, yes, we pool our knowledge too, and we feel damn sure we're going to pull through.
Agri-Pool Limited is a name of a production co-op. Agricultural production co-op. This is all Agri-Pool is to me. It's a name that is supposed to catch the eye of somebody that has never heard of it before. One of the neighbors told me once we may as well call it Esso because, you know, the name don't sound good. We should have had Sunny Acres or Pleasant Valley or Hills Half Acre or something like this.
We're not scared of corporations and all their greedy ways, 'cause with our farms united, we are bound for better days. We farm 11 sections, run 600 calves and cows, and there ain't no way we're gonna look back now.
Yeah, Agri-Pool is, well, it's seven families actually that got together to better their way of life.
Well, I joined Agri-Pool because I was getting old, and it was a good way to get my work done, and I could still get a profit out of the land and not have to work so hard.
Yes, I'm a socialist, because it's about the only system that's going to work.
The close neighbors never called us communists or Mennonites or Hutterites or anything, but the further away people called us that.
We're gonna stay on this land where my grandparents planned to build a life together, working hand in hand. We wanna stay on this land, and by working hand in hand, gonna build our tomorrow today. We're gonna build our tomorrow today.
Land is the country, and the country belongs to the people, and I'm not so sure that I have a right to own very much land. Maybe some. I don't know as ownership is this important. It's the way you've been brought up, I suppose.
The farmer and his land. He likes to think he's his own boss over it, but the fact is he's being forced to give it up. The small farmer can go 2 ways. He can sell out and move to the city, or like Agri-Pool in Saskatchewan, he can hook up with his neighbors, pool resources, share the load, and share the profits.
Ever since I've been farming, I've been nattering about a co-op farm or a type of ownership of equipment where the capital investment wasn't so damned high and you get more use out of it. The practicability of the thing was always a stumbling block. We were getting paid by the amount that we're contributing to the success of it. Now, generally speaking, the older people, the older members are contributing capital in the form of land and cattle and equipment, and the younger ones are contributing labor. So that one day they will be contributing the capital and somebody else younger will be contributing the labor. In other words, we're just a group of farmers who are decided to put our land together, our cattle together, our investments together, and try and work together.
But AgriPool is more than a business arrangement. It's a way of life for people who want to stay on the farm and pass it on to the next generation. It's a way of reorganizing a farming community so that each family, besides working for itself, works for the benefit of the group. Without the co-op, some of the members would have had to pack it in a long time ago. The families in AgriPool live a few miles apart in their own houses, but the work on their 7,000 acres is done together. And so is the fun, like one big family.
Because this is going to be cinders pretty soon if you don't eat it.
How can you put that steak out?
Charlotte's going to Europe next month.
Is that right? What's it going to do with your furniture and stuff?
Well, she's storing it all.
Look at John's got his winter park on. Grand.
If you're going to work together, there has to be certain things that you never quarrel about, and then you have these things to roll on just like a roller bearing, so to speak. You know, basically, if you're disagreeing about something, you always fall back to the thought, well, you know, he isn't such a bad bugger. I may disagree with him right now, and he's a real dummy, but on other things, he's not so bad. You know, he's smart enough to realize that we should vote NDP, and he's smart enough to realize we don't have to go to church if we don't want to, and that we'll all work on Sunday if we have to. You know, our attitudes to religion, sex, we all drink a little bit.
A co-op is a democracy. One member, one vote. Everybody has a chance to have his say. So once a month, there's a co-op meeting in a different member's house, where problems are raised and thrashed out.
Basically, the decisions are made by all 7. So when a decision is made, nothing takes place unless somebody gets cracking on it.
Also on the crop insurance, I got the bill for crop insurance, which is $23.85, I think, and we have coverage for $26,147 on wheat, $18,074 on the barley.
Well, California for the winter, by God. It's free for the hailstorm.
You guys pushing me in something, always give me some dirty job.
That's a dirty job.
Right on.
But everybody states their opinion pretty well straight out. As far as I know, there's been no grudges or anything like that.
You can go in there to the meeting in Regina, you can holler right at the president.
Sure, I can scream blue murder. What the hell good to do?
A lot of good.
Yeah, what?
Damn right.
It's still gonna give me a bunch of shit.
No, sir, they got new acts.
We don't pull any punches when we get into arguments. We just say what we think. Everybody says it, and then...
Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose.
I remember somebody going for axle to the Desert Club.
I broke one on Bob's and a new axle?
Yes.
A new one? Well, one was on the disc or not new one. No, I broke axles this year. I don't think we broke.
You know, Bill and Mike took different sides of the stand. Other nights it could be Charlie and Mike, or Charlie and Ron, or Mike and myself, or Bill and myself. You know, we do argue back and forth, basically. We have to be versatile. We should be able to defend both sides of an argument if we're worth anything. Nothing is black and white or cut and dried.
It did.
First year you'll get a new axle, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
AgriPool is set up to accommodate the individual. He may want to drive a tractor, and he may not even want to see a cow.
You're working with people, and you get out in your back 40 by yourself. There's dust and stones and roots, and if somebody else is working out in the field with you, it makes the day a little more enjoyable.
Most small farms can't survive anymore. But a big farm does, because it can support several different operations. So AgriPool grows wheat and raises cattle, experiments with new techniques, and is big enough to take risks. It's got enough members for jobs to be specialized. And it's new enough that members still want some things done their way.
Yeah, well, there is a division in the AgriPool. Basically, I think among 4. Bill and Ron are strongly for the machinery end of the setup, and Johnny McInnes and me are for the cattle end of the deal. And then the odd dollars that's to be spent has got to go, well, it's got to go either cattle or machinery. But a piece of machinery hasn't got any feeling, and an animal has. Well, I believe the animal has the priority.
Yeah, when we started in Agripool, all the cattle were in bunches, and we moved them together, and we moved them down here, and we decided to build a shed here. And John and I like working with cattle, and we were here most of the time, and found out where people fit.
Well, I mean, you can't work with cattle unless you do like them, not make a success of it.
When you've got a group of farmers, you've got a lot of different talents. Each member has an expertise. John and Johnny with the cattle, and Bill, who takes care of the equipment. This cattle liner, the Possum Belly, was bought by Agripool to haul their herd in the summer, 120 miles to a government pasture. Unlike the single farmer, the co-op can afford to invest in new and expensive machinery and to have its own mechanic.
Well, pretty well all the machinery was purchased by Agripool except what the members wanted to keep for themselves.
A McKee harvester was considered out of the ordinary because it was a new machine. It hadn't been on the market. In fact, ours, it was the first year that these machines were on the market, and we went out and bought it. And any new machine, you get the same comments that, it won't make a stack, and if it does, it won't unload it. And for sure, if they put it on the ground, they're not going to pick it up again. So this is the reaction you got from the neighbors. Most of them, not all of them. I don't think they even, well, I think they watch us all right, but they never know what's going to happen next.
This machine makes stacks of cattle feed and cost $14,000. It was bought with money borrowed from the bank. But not everybody thinks this is the way to farm. In the old days, the first thing you did was clear yourself of debt. John's and Larry's mother, Jean, thinks the old ways made plain good sense. And still do, even in a modern, mechanized world.
Co-op idea is perfectly okay, yes. What really got me was the going into debt so much. And that I'm dead against.
She keeps saying that it's a mistake, the thing is too big and we can't get on together, and some are getting advantages and other ones aren't. But I would think in 10 years from now that she would defend it with her life.
He thinks his ideas are better. Mine's old-fashioned. And this is not an old-fashioned world anymore,
The wives haven't always found the co-op smooth sailing either. Sometimes they felt put aside and ignored.
Now, maybe some of them feel kind of left out because their husbands aren't talking over maybe as much with them. They're going to the other 6 members, and the decision is made amongst the 6 members instead of just between the husband and wife.
After all, when you're married, you're supposed to be a partner, aren't you? And you should have a say in what's going on.
Well, I feel I am. If Ron is a member, I feel I am a member as much as he is. Maybe not so that I have the say in everything, but I still feel that I'm a member of Agripool just as much as Ron is.
Moved by Mike McGinnis and second by Charlie Veach, that we look into a truck to replace the GM.
Here's an example of how a co-op functions.
To meet our present needs.
Any major purchase by Agripool has been discussed and voted on in a meeting. And from the very first meeting 3 years ago, there were some hard feelings about a truck. Mike had a big new Dodge truck he was proud of. But the majority decided it would have to go to bring in badly needed cash for other equipment. The co-op already had an old GM truck, so the Dodge was sold.
That was carried.
Mike and Charlie weren't pleased,
Well, it wasn't new. It was
but a vote is a vote.
model, but it was a damn good truck, though. And the younger boys went and sold it.
And we felt that for the mileage that we put on a truck in a year, the amount of use we got out of it, that we didn't warrant that much investment in a truck. And this is kind of a sore spot, I suppose.
So each year at harvest time, the question of buying a new truck comes up again. Mike and Charlie, who operate the old one, keep reminding the others, it's bumpy, it's drafty, it's hard to shovel grain out of, and it's ugly. Money, Agri-Pool has discovered, isn't the only thing its members are working for.
Then when you get the age of Charlie, I believe something a little bit comfortable to drive means quite a bit.
Well, I think it was sometimes past a joke. Yeah. Sometimes past a joke. That's no more joke.
The old truck isn't a laughing matter anymore. And so this year, at a critical pre-harvest meeting, Charlie forces the issue once again.
How about this truck? You got it already? You got this truck already?
I was just going to mention the trunk.
I changed the oil in it.
You're going to mention the truck.
I didn't grease it yet, just part of it.
Well, after all, we got to drive this goddamn thing, so I just wanted to find out if he'd got it all fixed up yet or not. You got any more of these signs for the back of it? You know, the slow-moving ones?
Yeah, I got a couple up there if you really want to put them on the back.
Oh, we got a set then. We can put the other sign on the back of it.
Charlie, 100%. 100%.
Slow but steady.
Slow but not sure.
Slow but
That's right.
I looked at a truck at Farmland, and they have a 700 series Dodge.
That would be the end of it.
Our move. That's the one we need. That's the one we need for sure.
It came from
Dodge.
She got longer.
One thing about Agri-Pool, when you put to a vote and it comes out, who wins, who loses, you keep your mouth shut or else, the only other alternative is to get out.
Wait a minute, we haven't got a seconder for that.
Yeah.
Not for the 2,500.
Well, John seconded your motion, and then I was thinking he's agreeable. He hasn't said anything.
You second Charlie's motion,
Would you let the motion stand that way without
Okay, I'll second Charlie's motion. I'll stand for another truck.
So it'll read like this. Moved by Charlie.
If I was driving the truck, I'd be wanting another one.
Those in favor? Okay.
So do I.
Don't cry, Ron.
There's nothing better than a poor loser.
I used to that.
A motion on the book has it we purchased a truck. One that we went out and thought was a good truck for our company, and we purchased it under the approval of Bill and myself to test drive the truck. So right now, Bill and I will have to go back in and make approval of this, take it for a test drive.
I was against buying the truck, and if I come back and I say, well, look, the motor's half shot and this isn't good and that's good, I'm sure they won't buy the truck. And I'm not going to say it's bad if it's good and vice versa. That's the way it is. I'm going to give my honest opinion, and that's all I can do. There's been no time in Agri-Pool that we haven't backed all the members. Any person that has made even a major decision on his own, if it's there to be made, you've got to make it, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I think they know at this time it's the wrong time to buy a truck. The dealers are not ready to deal right now. They quote you a price and you either take it or leave it.
And we run into the problem of when you lift it up, it hits the ground and it isn't enough. When it's loaded, the grain won't run out. And the fellows are complaining about shoveling a bit out the back of the truck when it's combining time. And being an old vehicle and kind of hard to drive.
Yeah.
We have some older fellows in the group, and they find it a little hard to handle. And that shoveling doesn't go along too good.
Right.
What about the power? Would we have to have power steering on this to make it easy steering with a box like this on?
Not with a cab over. They were one of the most comfortable trucks ever to drive.
Yeah, that's fine. You guys went and got it out. Okay.
Well, you got her home pretty quick, eh? Yeah. Got her here anyway.
How about it?
What do you think of it? Hopefully we won't have to fix the new truck for a while. Can happen though. It's not a new truck, it's a used one. All the stuff flies over and sits in there and works its way in, I guess. So we put a new oil pan on, new fan, new water pump, and we got a new muffler for it. There's one here that's pretty well done, but they gave us a new one.
What did you say this tank was for?
It's an air tank.
No, it's put the beer in.
That's for pumping up the tires. Don't hold the beer in that tank.
And another thing, there's got to be quite a bit of work to change the box over from the old truck. And we really haven't got time to do it right now. This is my biggest complaint on the thing. Really, this is one big thing that I'm complaining about. If we were going to do something on a truck, we should have done it 2 months ago.
I suspect the average farmer would have had the new truck a long time ago. Farmer isn't a manager.
There's Mark there for you.
I don't think we're this good of managers, really. We do an awful lot of things, you know, just because we want to do them and we enjoy doing them.
Round door is hard to put it on.
You know, we're not up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You can get up and start working at 3 o'clock in the morning. But nobody enjoys crawling out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning in the summertime.
Oh, that looks good.
There's got to be a room for efficiency, but there also has to be room for us to live and enjoy living. So you have to give and take, but we need a little management, and we need a little give and take. To a financial aspect, no, it wasn't justifiable. The truck, we didn't have the work for it. On the other hand, there's more to life than a dollar. If this is going to keep somebody happy, well, I don't mind, as long as everybody doesn't take this whim that they want to do this and do that. Perhaps if the truck satisfies them, I don't begrudge the money.
As far as buying the new truck, I don't know whether it's going to make them happy or not. I don't think Charlie would have been unhappy with an old truck, as long as it did what was required of it, so that he could help out in the harvest. This was really what Charlie wanted.
319, I think it was on the first one.
You can keep track of the bushes if you want.
I was going to, but Mike was passing so many sarcastic remarks, I decided I better get out.
Well, you're dragging your feet. No wonder.
Well, see how good I am to him, and then you don't appreciate it.
That truck sure smartened Charlie up. He's only sitting on half time now.
I don't know, is such a thing can smarten him up?
No, that box looks pretty small in there now.
Yeah. Don't look near as big as it used to.
No.
Now give me a minute and I'll try to explain just what we mean by the AgriPool name. Well, we pooled our resources and joined up our hands and all work together now to farm our lands. Now everyone does what they know best, shares in the profits with all the rest, and we use less machinery and that saves a pile. We pack up in the summer and go off for a while. AGRIPOOL, thanks to our AgriPool. AGRIPOOL, we're in an AgriPool.
If anything happens to me, the farm is farmed. Income will drop because I'm not working, perhaps, but the farm is still being worked. And in the good old free enterprise system, when you're on your own, in theory anyway, unless the neighbors are going to give you a hand, you're in trouble. As soon as the neighbors give you a hand, you're accepting the advantages of a co-op, and it may not be a legal entity or anything else, but you're still accepting the advantages of it.
Most of our help in AgriPool came from Saskatchewan Wheat Pool. Was our biggest helping hand to get us rolling.
There is, for instance, the Department of Cooperation in Saskatchewan, which did give us a lot of assistance to set up the legal end of setting up a co-op.
Well, I think the Saskatchewan government, as far as co-ops are concerned, are as good as any other. I think they've got some improving to do, too.
I don't think generally that either federal or provincial governments know what co-ops are as far as production co-ops are concerned. We're not recognized, for instance, by the Canadian Wheat Board. We're not recognized by Farm Credit Corporation. Our own provincial government, when they set up Land Bank, didn't recognize us. You know, you try to deal with these organizations, you tell them you're a production co-op, and they look kind of blank and say, well, it says on page so-and-so that this is the way a corporate farm is treated, and that's it.
All set to let her go, Ray?
Yeah, let her go.
I think AgriPool is ahead of its time. We're trying to operate a farm on a viable basis. To hell with market. You know, if markets are going to slump in one area, we're going to try and see it shift. We try and rely on resource personnel, both from government and private corporations such as banks and financial institutions. Anywhere at all we can get help or try and foresee the future.
Oh, you think so great? Oh, it should make a 2. Oh, come on now. I think we'd make a 1.
Show a little bit of frost and a little green in it.
Yeah, I guess there's a little bit of frost. Looks pretty good to me.
No, it's a 2.
Either co-op farming is going to increase or corporate farming is going to increase. One or the other. Either we take the line where we control ourselves, or we take the line where money will control the farming business, or government will control it.
We're in our 3rd year, things are going pretty fine, as I said the other day to a friend of mine. Well, we have a few disputes, but I'll tell you what we do. We bet a bottle of rum and then we share that too. A-G-R-I-P-O-O-L, that's our agri-pool. A-G-R-I-P-O-O-L, yes, we're the agri-pool.
Farmers are among one of the stupidest groups in the country because they won't get along together. They won't organize, they won't stay together.
A-G-R-I-P-O-O-L, that's our agri-pool. A-G-R-I-P-O-O-L, yes, we're